How's it going, everybody? I'm Lewis, and we've got one of the highly most anticipated updates, I would argue, of the entire year coming to Old School RuneScape today. This is the construction expansion. Let's start off this video by taking a look at the house viewer. The house viewer is a new interface that gives you an entire overview of your house and allows you to move, rotate, delete and add rooms with ease. To access the house viewer, go to your settings tab, go into the house options and then choose the viewer button. This will pop up the house viewer interface, which, like I just said, this will give you an entire overview of a floor in your house. You'll be able to choose between the dungeon, ground and upstairs levels of your house, so you can easily navigate which rooms you're looking at. If you want to modify one of your rooms, just select it in the interface. It will become selected in the right hand side of the interface, and you'll be able to move, rotate and delete the room. This is going to be brilliant if you want to actually edit your house, because before what you'd have to do, you'd have to dismantle half your items so you could get some of the resources back. Then you'd have to get rid of the room, create a new room, and then rebuild everything in that room. Now when you move or rotate one of the rooms in your house, what's going to happen is all of the things that you've built in there will stay in their positions and they'll just move to the new location or rotate round depending on the room's angle. This means the entire process of changing the way that your house is or building your house is completely different, but it's going to be so much easier. One thing you might be asking yourself is, how will rooms with stairs work? The way that rooms with stairs work, such as skill halls and dungeon gardens, will be that the upper and lower rooms will actually move together. So if you want to move a skill hall on your ground floor and the skill hall in your dungeon, both of them will have to move to the same location together. Again, making it easy to change where your stairs are located in your house. This entire interface will make changing and creating your house so much easier than before. You'll be able to preview the angle and the locations of all your rooms before you actually go ahead and build them. Unfortunately, there is a bit of a downside of this type of interface, and that is that you can move some rooms around in a fashion that you're in a location that has no doors and you are completely locked out of your house. To address this, what they've done is they've added a portal button which you can click and it will take you to your house portal. This will mean if you accidentally get stuck in your house, you can easily go to your house portal and sort it out. Now we've got a new way of changing how our houses look. Let's have a look at a couple of new rooms they're introducing to our player-owned houses. First of all, the Superior Garden. To create a Superior Garden, you need 65 construction and 75,000 coins to create. The Superior Garden provides 6 hotspots, the first being the Natural Teleport hotspot. The Natural Teleport hotspot allows you to place either a fairy ring, a spirit tree, or both a fairy ring and a spirit tree so you can utilize them for teleportation. To get a fairy ring, you need to get a fairy enchantment from Fairy Fix-It after completing the Fairy Tale Part 2 quest. Fairy Fix-It is the fairy that sort of manages the fairy ring in Zenaris, so to get to her, quickly go to Zenaris' fairy ring location and she should just be there. And the spirit tree is a completely new spirit tree that will be introduced to your house. For people that are wondering if you've got farming spirit trees, this won't count to the number of trees you're allowed to grow simultaneously, because obviously this is just a player-owned house tree and the farming trees are something different. A benefit of having the spirit tree and fairy rings in your house is that not only can you go to your house to teleport to fairy ring and spirit tree locations, you can use fairy ring and spirit tree locations to go to your house, so it's a two-way teleportation area. The next hotspot is the Topiary hotspot. The Topiary hotspot is essentially a bush that you can turn into the shape of various bosses found in Old School RuneScape. And you don't have to be in building mode to actually change what your topiary is. You can go into your regular house mode and have your friends in the house and change which boss is being shown to show off your achievements. The reason being is, to have one of these topiaries, you have to have at least defeated that boss once in order to create it. Something that many of our PVMers will probably find rather easy. What's interesting about the Topiary hotspot is originally they polled it as just boss heads, but now you get the full boss, which I don't know if I'm that much of a fan of having the full boss. I think I'd rather have the head, but when it comes to bosses such as Zora, I imagined having just head would look a little bit weird. Next, the pool hotspot. The pool hotspot will allow you to build small little pools where you can restore things like your stats, your health, your prayer, and special attack. Something I am somewhat disappointed with because they kind of just look like small fountains. When they said pools originally, I was imagining sort of biggish swimming pools, a bit like you get in the dungeon when you fall in and there's like a swimming area surrounded by a cage, and similar to the pools found in the Ogre area in RuneScape 3 where you can restore those things. But at least we've got the functionality that people required. Next, the garden theme hotspot. With these superior gardens, you'll be able to choose a general theme of them. There's 3 different types of themes: the Zen theme, the Zenaris theme, and the Tsar theme. The Zen theme requires some pink dye from the Hand in the Sand, the Zenaris theme requires the Magic Secateurs from Fairy Tale Part 1, and the Tsar theme doesn't actually look like it requires anything. Hopefully these different themes will allow people to have really unique superior gardens, as opposed to just the way current gardens are where they're just kind of green, and I mean they're pleasant, but they're not unique like this. Next, the fencing hotspot. Each of these different types of fences appear to be designed around the themes that we previously mentioned. Currently there's 3 different types of fences: a redwood fence, a marble fence, and an obsidian fence. With the later obsidian fence coming from a bit of a weird idea that I believe the 2007 Scape Reddit had not too long ago, which was to create a construction fence using Tsar weapons. Mostly because the Tsar weapons aren't really used that much. People don't really want to buy them, and they seem a bit of a waste of time, especially when you think about the Tsar and how much effort it does actually take to go through and kill them to get their weapons. So this should be an interesting sync for the Tsar weapons. The final hotspot in the Superior Garden is the seating hotspot, and once again, these are themed based on the themes we mentioned previously. These are small benches that you can add to your garden. However, unfortunately, with the marble and obsidian benches, they would have some horrible rendering issues if players could sit on them, so those 2 are just for decoration. However, the teak bench is used for sitting. You'll be able to sit in it and have fun there if you enjoy just sitting in your player-owned house, which could be quite peaceful in a way, especially if you create a nice, lovely, superior garden. The next new room adding is the Achievement Gallery. This requires level 80 construction and costs 200,000 coins to create, which, especially when we compare to the Superior Garden, is quite a lot. However, when we have a look at the hotspots that this provides, you could easily argue that they're a lot better than the Superior Garden. Especially when we have a look at this first hotspot, the Altar hotspot. The Altar hotspot allows you to create one of 4 different altars. There's the Ancient Altar, the Lunar Altar, the Dark Altar, and the Occult Altar. Each of these altars allow you to switch between the standard spellbook and the spellbook that the altar is aligned to, with the latter, Occult Altar, allowing you to switch to any of the spellbooks that you want. If you want to create any of these altars, you're going to have to get a signet from NPCs after you actually finish the quests to get these spellbooks, with the Ancient Magic signet coming from Eblis at the Mirrors near Bandit Camp, the Lunar signet coming from Baba Yaga in Lunar Isle, and the Dark signet coming from Tis near the Dark Altar. These should be very useful, especially for people that want to switch between spellbooks a lot and quickly. The next hotspot is the Adventure Log hotspot. This allows guests of your house to view your boss kill log, your slayer kill log, alongside some things like champion challenge progress, as well as some various other data that the Old School RuneScape team have thrown together for this. This should be quite nice because players will be able to actually view what you've done, and it will encourage players to go and see each other's houses and adventure logs just to find out what they've been doing in game. Next, the Jewelry Box hotspot. The Jewelry Box hotspot is somewhat self-explanatory. It's an area where you can put in different enchanted bits of jewelry, and you can use it to teleport to locations that jewelry provides. Depending on the level of your jewelry box, you can include things like the Games Necklace, the Ring of Dueling, the Skills Necklace, the Amulet of Glory, the Ring of Wealth, and a Combat Bracelet. Meaning that this essentially is one big teleport hotspot in your player-owned house. And seeing as it's a player-owned house hotspot with jewelry, you essentially get unlimited teleports from that hotspot. Meaning it's very powerful to utilize and very useful to have in your house. Next, the Boss Lair hotspot. These hotspots add a touch of terrifying monster environment to your humble abode. If you've got a jar from a boss monster, for example a jar of swamp, a jar of sand, or a jar of miasma, then you can add these displays of the bosses to your achievement gallery. To make this a lot easier, you'll be able to put all of your jars into this display case, and you'll just be able to choose which boss is being displayed to your guests at the time. And obviously, because they're such a rare drop, if you want to get your jars back, you can quickly just take them from the display case and get rid of them completely. The next hotspot is the mounted display hotspot. These allow you to show off skill capes, fire capes, bounty hunter emblems, and massive stacks of coins. However, be aware, this appears to be a non-refundable mounted display. So for example, if you put in 100 million coins onto this display, you won't be able to get them back. However, if you do have that and you can put that massive stack of coins for people to see, then it really proves that you have got a lot of money in this game. Or at least it proves that you're an idiot who wants to get rid of all your money by spending it on construction. The final achievement gallery hotspot is the quest list hotspot. Somewhat similar to the adventure log hotspot, players will see a scroll on your wall. They can go up to it and see your progress through each quest in Old School RuneScape, seeing which quests you've done, which quests you've started, and which quests you've yet to even think about. Which hopefully for many players, they've done a lot of quests and they can use it to show off to their friends. The final part of this construction expansion is just a quick look under the hood. From the way the Old School RuneScape team have talked in their developer Q&As, I've got a feeling that the previous construction code wasn't great. It was extremely limited and the houses could only have certain things. Since Old School RuneScape came out, we've been able to ask for updates, and we've always asked for small things to construction. However, they haven't really been able to offer anything that we wanted, mostly for the fact that the construction spaces have pretty much been used up. In particular, each room was limited to 7 hotspots, 3 of which could have 7 options, and 4 of which could have 3. Now, each hotspot can have 31 options, the rooms can have 8 hotspots, and they've got space to add even more hotspots if required. So not only do we get all of this new construction update, in the future they can add a lot more to construction to make us really enjoy our player-owned houses. Unfortunately, because this has been such a huge rewrite to the way that construction works, there's obviously going to be a few bugs that have probably gotten out there. If you spot any bugs, make sure you report them immediately, don't abuse them, and let the Old School RuneScape team know exactly what the bug is. This should help them track down what the problems are and sort them as soon as possible. Additionally, this week we've not only just had construction changes, we've got a few changes from the most recent content polls. First of all, the Ring of Suffering recoil effect. The Ring of Suffering and the Ring of Suffering Eye can now be charged using Ring of Recoils to have the same Ring of Recoil effect. If you have a Ring of Suffering and you want to get as many Ring of Recoil charges in there, it can hold up to 100,000 Ring of Recoil charges, which is roughly 2,500 Ring of Recoils. The stats of the Ring of the Gods and the Ring of the Gods Eye has been improved, the number of gem rocks in the Shiloh Village underground mine has been increased, and the deposit box has also been added to the mine, making that mine particularly useful if you want to get yourself some gems. The Music Skill Cape now has a teleport option to Fallow the Bard. Buy offers can now be created from the Grand Exchange history menu. You can now toggle whether the Ring of Wealth should pick up coins or not, meaning that if you're bored of getting all the coins or you don't feel like all those tiny amounts of coins are really worth picking up, you can toggle between getting them or not. Easter baskets have had their stats changed to match the rubber chicken. The Pheromonic Diary task for mining gold in the Arzinian mine can now be completed mid-quest rather than post-quest only. When Slayer Masters offer a repeat task, they now specify what the target is. Fletching higher tier logs will now give you a greater number of arrow shafts. The selling price of dragon armor within Last Man Standing has been increased to 10 tokens, and the selling price of abyssal whips within Last Man Standing has been decreased to 15 tokens. Rune arrows now only are obtained from bloody and bloodier keys and not normal chests in Last Man Standing. Because of this, adamant arrows have returned to Last Man Standing, and the northern stepping stones in Last Man Standing have been moved to the northern side of the small island, which should hopefully help the layout of the map slightly. Telegroup spells can now be used to complete achievement diary tasks. Players will no longer get 2 separate messages to tell them they can build stash units when they level up construction. They fixed a typo on a boat in Kourend. Non-members can now use the Stale Baguette reward item. The Guthix Max Cape Hood now counts as a god item when completing clue scrolls. Last Man Standing broadcasts will no longer appear up in other instances. The Last Man Standing rating will no longer decrease if you log out or forfeit a casual game. And your Last Man Standing rating will no longer decrease if you leave the lobby. So quite a few useful quality of life updates and bug fixes there. I think obviously Last Man Standing is getting a lot of changes and hopefully it will be refined really soon to be something really fun that everyone loves. As opposed to, where at the moment we keep getting small updates every week and you can see it's being refined but it's not quite there. And obviously this week is huge with the construction changes. I'm really excited to try out the house viewer and even look at getting the superior garden. I currently don't yet have 80 construction, so I can't get the achievement gallery just yet. However, I did recently get 75 construction in anticipation for this update, so hopefully soon I can have a look at potentially getting 80 plus construction and getting myself an achievement gallery. Click here if you want to watch my video on the latest Old School RuneScape developer blog, the Dual Arena changes. And if you want to watch my video on the previous Old School RuneScape update, please click here for the Elder Weapon Beta and Barbarian Assault. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, devlogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.